The thing that people don't get is in the HR function, there's a lot of manual work, which is very repeatable work, which we are doing every day.
Previously, you needed to make sure that things exactly matched. But with AI, you give it unstructured data and you give it a prompt. And the better your prompt, the better the output.
99% is still people reading it and typing it out manually, what have you, right? Now,
AI is super powerful for many things, but there are, of course, situations where you want to make sure that there's a human in the loop.
there isn't really a tool to solve this. It's good old pen and paper or Excel sheets, which is a pain.
I use GPT-5 for everything these days.
What are like the best principles for prompting? Hi, Thijs. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, Thijs, this is one is going to be really special for me because it's been 2 years I've been doing the show, and every episode I keep talking of AI, but it's only been talk, talk, talk. This is actually going to be show. I'm super excited to have you on and actually get hands on with AI, do practicals, do demos using Relay, and just get into end to end AI. And this is going to be very curated for the audience. The audience is largely based out of India who are HRs. So hopefully this is the first time someone is going hands-on demo with AI for HRs. And for the folks listening in, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of real life stuff that Thijs is going to build using Relay that you can literally just copy paste. Right? Cool. So Thijs, let's begin. I think given that this is in India, people may not know you or may not know Relay. Maybe a quick introduction about yourself and also about Relay.
Thanks so much for having me. So, yeah, my name is Thijs. I'm head of product at Relay. And Relay, we're a tool to build AI agents. Now, AI agents is of course really the buzz at the moment. But quick introduction about myself. I spent most of my career either working on productivity apps or on travel apps. So before Relay, I spent about 8 years at Google, where most of the time I was working on Gmail. Of course, a key productivity app that many of us are using. So I worked on Google Flights. And after leaving Google, I was for a couple of years at Booking.com here in Amsterdam, where I'm from. The past few years, we've been building Relay or Relay.app. We're an AI automation tool. And what we are is we're a tool that makes it easy for anyone to use AI in day-to-day workflows and agents, because you might have seen various tools online, and many of these tools, they come from the time of the traditional automation apps, and they're great, they're super powerful, but they're typically also very hard to use if you don't have a technical background. So many of these tools for automations are kind of like visual programming tools in a way. We strongly believe that if you're a knowledge worker, and if you won't be able to leverage AI in your day-to-day job, both from a team productivity perspective as well as individual productivity, you're missing out, and it becomes an essential career skill for simple things like helping you prepare for meetings and reviewing meetings and all of that stuff. So we really wanted to build a tool that anyone can use.
Thank you for being here and watching my shows over these years. I hope you've got some value from it. And if you have, I just have one request. Please hit us subscribe. It is the only way I know that you're getting value, and it immensely helps this small channel get reach. The more subscribers I get, the more I'll get more courage and momentum to keep doing this. Now, also, I have a message for each and every one of you about something that I've very recently started. So, most HR teams struggle to balance hiring, engagement, and people challenges, largely because if you see, the day disappears into a lot of admin and busy manual work. Now, imagine if AI could give you that time back. This is a problem I faced, and this is why I've created the 5x and 10x HR Leap with AI programs, which is designed specifically and only for the HR teams, so that you can use AI to free up hours and focus on real impact. And with the AI consulting for HRs, which I'm offering, I help organizations hardwire efficiency so HRs finally drive culture and growth. Now, start your transformation into the future today by visiting peoplebridgelabs.com. That is peoplebridgelabs.com. The link is in the comments below. And once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And back to the show. For folks listening in, this is not like a sponsored episode at all. The thing is that people don't get is in the HR function. There's a lot of manual work, which is very repeatable work, which we are doing every day. The idea is our time, and I may say either the people, the HR professionals' time, should not be bogged down doing that. They should be actually doing more high leverage work. But we get bogged down because we're doing all of this very non-leveraged way of doing work. And I think Relay comes in fantastically. I think all these workflows come in fantastically to solve that. So should we just quickly dive in and just get into it? Maybe just show a couple of workflows, what they are, and actually get hands-on.
Yeah, that's great. Let me pull up my screen. So what we're looking at here is my like home screen of Relay.app. Let's start with talking about what is an agent. So fundamentally, an agent is like a piece of AI that works for you behind the scenes. So there's many different ways how we interact with AI in a day-to-day. Like there's chatbots. The second way how many of us use AI is in the co-pilot model. So many products have an embedded AI that helps you in that specific product with specific functionality. So there's of course like Microsoft Copilot that helps you like write emails or summarize information in a spreadsheet. Those are great AIs, and they're baked into a specific product experience, and they help you get stuff done. And then the third model, how we interact with agents or with AI, is through agents. And what distinguishes agents from all these other modalities, so to speak, is that like agents work behind the scenes. So you give them instructions either via a prompt or via like a very simple like visual flowchart, which is really the Relay.app approach. And then as you are doing your stuff day to day, the agent works for you while when it's needed. So a very simple example agent to kind of like illustrate this, and also to illustrate kind of like how the basics of this product work is like is this agent that is like it's an invoice tracker. So what it does, it monitors my mailbox, in this case Gmail, and every time I receive a new email that is an invoice, and I have a filter set up for that there's the label new invoices. That's when it wakes up, and this is what we call the trigger of the agent. So this agent is not just like looking at all my emails, it's specifically looking at emails that are newly arrived with this label and also that have an attachment. And then it goes do two things. First, it starts using AI to extract the details about this invoice. So I do that via prompt. So there's a prompt here where we basically ask the AI to extract a bunch of details from the email, specifically the invoice date, the due date, like the amount, and the name of the vendor. And afterwards, these specific pieces of information, they will be available for the remaining work of the agent. And then what are we going to do with it? We're going to add this in this case, to a spreadsheet. So let me show you how that spreadsheet actually looks. There's a basic spreadsheet with 3 columns. And we have this information that has been extracted in the past from invoices that came in. And as you can see here, like we basically insert the output of the AI into the spreadsheet. Now, let me run this thing once. But before that, let me actually show you like how easy it is to make changes here. Now, let's say we also want the agent to extract whether the invoice has been paid or not. So what we would do is like we would simply add another line item here. So whether the invoice has been paid. And if we wait a few seconds, we see that the AI will reanalyze my prompt And
Mm-hmm.
it has updated the expected output here. And we see that there's now this yes or no output, which will be like invoice has been paid. Now let's say we want to also add this to the spreadsheet, right? So I'm opening the spreadsheet again. Let me just use this column. Let me call it paid. And I go back to Relay. I will click. I will add a field which is selecting another column in this spreadsheet. Because I just added it, I might need to refresh. So here we see the new column. And in this column, what we're going to fill in, the output from the AI, we're going to add whether the invoice was paid or not. And let's now apply these changes, which is publishing. And now let's test it out. So I'm going to start a test run so that I don't have to wait for a new invoice to arrive. So I see a couple of invoices here. Let's do this one for config.cat. So this would normally happen behind the scenes, right? But because we're testing it now, you see what the AI has been doing. It's already finished. Let's go to the spreadsheet directly, and we see that this config.cat email or invoice should have been paid. Let's actually verify, because of course we can trust that. Let's look at the email, and it's probably it's probably paid. Oh well, it actually says in the subject. So there you kind of have an idea of what the concept of these agents are. And of course, this is not an HR agent, but this model of something happens, the agent wakes up, then the agent will leverage AI to do something like classify some information, qualify a candidate or a lead. Then the AI will do something with that in either the same app or in a different app.
Thijs, I just want to take a second, and I mean, I know you use this every day, so it seems very novel to you. But 99% is still people reading it and typing it out manually, what have you, right? Now here can be any invoice in the world broadly. If it has an invoice number and a date and whether it's paid or not gets picked up. That's what the AI is so cool for. Right? It can just tackle anything. Right? That is a mind blowing thing, which we should acknowledge upfront, I suppose.
Yeah, no, you're so right. You're spot on. Previously, you needed to make sure that things exactly matched. But with AI, you give it unstructured data, and you give it a prompt. And the better your prompt, the better the output.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, you said about qualification. I think let's get into that.
I will start with showing you a qualification agent that we use ourselves for a marketing and sales perspective, and then we can discuss how this translates to to HR use cases. So there's we have, for example, a demo request qualifier. So on our website, like many businesses, we have a button that says request a demo, and of course we want to make sure that we that we invite many people for these demos, but we only want to invite qualified leads. Because there's many of these demo requests, and we want to make sure that we spend the time in the right way. So what this agent does, it qualifies every time somebody submits our requested demo form. And how it does that is as follows. And this agent is definitely a bit more advanced than the one that we previously looked at. But let me explain. So the first thing that it does, it gets the LinkedIn profile of the person that requested the demo.
How is it coming? It's coming from HubSpot, is it?
That's right. Yeah. So let me maybe to show you. So there are we have a HubSpot form, and there's a couple of questions in that form. In this case, there's the question first name, last name, email address, company website, and the LinkedIn profile URL.
Got it. Okay.
It's a submission by myself as a demo. So we ask people on that form in HubSpot to fill out these pieces, and then the step to get the profile from LinkedIn uses the LinkedIn profile URL that the person fill out in that form. Similarly, this website step, it takes the company website, the address that the person filled out in the form, and looks and visits it and gets back the contents of the page. We could also look these up in a different way, like for example via a Google search if people didn't enter them. But like, because we control the form, we can make sure that we ask for like, what's your website and what's your LinkedIn profile URL.
Yeah.
And then the important step here is like where we ask the AI to qualify this lead. And I can quickly walk you through, because this is where the power is really. So we ask this AI, we're telling it like, okay, your job is to classify demo requests, and we're an AI automation platform, so we give that as context, and then we give it our ICP, like our target customers. And this is a really simplified description. But the more the more context you give to the AI, it will take that to in the rest of its job to classify it in the correct way. So in this case, we're telling it like, our target customers are mid to senior level leaders at businesses of more than 50 employees. Then I'm telling it like what the AI has access to. So we're giving it the form response with basically everything that that not the candidate, but that the lead filled in. We're giving it their LinkedIn profile, which contains everything from like their job history, their current role at the company, how long they've been there, their seniority level, and the web content of their company website. And then we're asking the AI to qualify this lead as one of the following. So either as like qualified, which means that we'll end up sending them a Calendly link to schedule a demo, or as unqualified, in which case we'll like politely decline, or as unsure, because of course, there's always these cases where the AI isn't completely sure, and then we'll want to make sure that the human ends up making the decision, because that is another key aspect. Like, AI is super powerful for many things, but there are many situations where you want to make sure that there's a human in the loop. And like writing a draft email is great, but you will want a human to review it before it gets sent out, at least in many cases, unless it's like an auto reply. And here's an example where, if the AI isn't sure about like whether this lead is qualified, we'll want a human to make the decision.
Okay.
And then we're also asking the AI to give the reason for the decision, as well as like summarize their profile. And why we do this is so that like if the AI is unsure, we give this additional context to the human, to the person in the team that needs to make the decision. And I think if I show next, like these pieces will come together, because like the first thing that we asked the AI to do was to classify the lead as either qualified, unqualified, or unsure. And for each of these different answers, we have a separate path in here that will be taken in each of these cases. So if we look at the, so if the AI said the lead was qualified, we're going to send them an email, the person that filled out the form, which is fully automated and fully templated. We're saying, thank you for requesting a demo. Please go ahead and pick a time, and then my Calendly link. But if the AI instead said like it was not qualified, we're also sending them an email, but it's a polite decline. The last situation is like when the AI isn't sure, right? And this is where we're escalating to a human. So what happens here is that we're asking a person for feedback, in this case myself. And in this case, I'm getting the request over a Slack DM, but we can also ask it like a channel, like we can ask the sales team over a channel, or we can send it over email. And in this message that I'm giving as context, I'm giving all the information that's needed for the person to make a decision
Okay.
on whether or not to send the scheduling link or not. So I'm including like of course, their name, also the reason why the AI wasn't unsure, but was
Hmm.
unsure, and also the summary of their LinkedIn profile, plus like the URL to their LinkedIn profile, so that that you can make that decision. And then based on that answer from the human, we're going
Hmm.
to send the exact same emails that we
Okay.
specified
Okay.
earlier. So like if the human says like yes, send that scheduling link, we're going to do that same email, and otherwise we're going to send the decline. Now, this is of course a very like
Hmm.
marketing, sales specific workflow, but you can totally see that like
Hmm.
this type of qualification, it doesn't just apply to sales leads, but to
Hmm.
candidates and to whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So, Thijs, before we move on, I just want to take a pause on the prompt that you wrote. Right? Do you want to take a couple of minutes and explain to people that what are like the best principles for prompting? Not just here. I think globally it's the same thing, right? You give context, like you're saying all of this. Just a quick 2 minute would be super helpful for folks. What do you
Yeah,
keep in mind to give the most powerful prompt to get the best results from any tool that
yeah,
you use?
yeah. No, this is a great question. Like if you're using a tool like ChatGPT, you're typing your prompt, you press enter, you get something back, you see the
Right.
result, and you might, and you probably
Ah,
ask a
okay.
follow up and you clarify,
Right.
and like you have the whole
Right.
conversation. And this all happens like behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Right? Like when these demo requests are coming in, nobody is like fine tuning the prompt for a specific demo request. So these prompts they need to be particularly well
Hmm.
structured because they're like one shot prompts. Like the
Right.
AI basically has only like you give it to the AI and you expect exactly the type of answer that you need.
Hmm.
So now if we look at like what makes up for a good structure is like always at the beginning start with what is the job of this AI, because the LLM, the AI model, will use this to prime itself for like everything that comes after. So we
Okay.
start in this case by saying like your task is to classify demo requests for an AI automation platform. So
Okay.
then, as soon as the AI reads that, it like it's not thinking about like how tall the Eiffel Tower is and like all these kind of
Right.
like other things that AIs are great at.
Yeah.
And then like we provide a bit of extra context that is needed for that top level task. So in this
Right.
case, it is like okay, we need to classify demo requests, but like this is our target customer. Then we specify here like what are all the pieces of context that the AI will have access to, because
Okay.
like what I have done here, and we'll build an agent in a few minutes live, but what you will see is that you can manually specify what is the data or the information that the AI should be using in order to, in this case, to classify the lead. And in this
Okay.
case, I've said like use everything. So you have access to like the company website, their LinkedIn profile, their form submission. But there are cases, of course, where
Okay.
you want to where you're limiting what the AI sees, either to save like credits or for various other reasons. So we're summarizing here, like what will the AI have access to
Okay.
before we go further. Then we are very explicit about like, okay, how should the AI do its job? And then here's the one more thing, like in addition, give the reason and a summary of their profile. But this is, that is like those are the bonus outputs
Hmm.
that we don't
Got
rely
it.
on.
Yeah.
This is really the key thing. But that structure of like, what is the
Hmm.
task? What is the context? And
Hmm.
then how should that task be performed? That is
Right.
generally the way to do this. And yeah, keep the prompts as crisp as possible. It's similar to when instructing humans. Like the more text and the more instructions we provide, the higher the risk
Hmm.
that it
Yeah.
gets misinterpreted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No.
that's the same with these AIs.
Got it. Lovely. And as you said, when you're using GPT, everyone uses GPT, right? So you can
Yeah.
keep iterating. You can keep getting what you want with more and more and more and more prompts. But here you just have one shot. Cool. Would love to see more, Thijs, if you have them with you.
Yeah, for sure. Let me show you again a very different one, and one
Hmm.
that many of our customers actually really like, which is
Okay.
the
This
is a
is
meeting briefing
yeah.
generator.
Oh yeah,
So
everyone.
everyone has a lot of meetings, right? Many of these meetings are with people that are not your immediate colleagues or coworkers. And
Right.
what this agent does, it's really personalized for my needs, so I can show you how to tweak it. But like what this agent does, it like 4 hours before I have a meeting that has external guests. What it will
Hmm.
do is for each of the guests that I'm meeting with, it will look up the most recent email conversations I had with that person. It will also get like look up like the most recent meetings that I had with that person, and it will also look up their LinkedIn profile. And
Hmm.
after all of that, after it has done that for all these people that I'm meeting with, it asks the AI to prepare a briefing for me. And this is really personalized to how like I want my briefings, because I don't like reading like massive massive pieces
No
of
one does.
text. So what we can see here actually is like the structure of the prompt again. So I start with this top level request, like please prepare a concise briefing for this meeting that includes one,
Hmm.
key details about the external guests I'm meeting with, and two, any relevant context from past email exchanges and meetings I had with them. That's like the
Hmm.
top level ask for the AI. I specify what is available for the AI to base this on, like
Hmm.
of course the event details of the meeting, and then if available, because it might be that I didn't have any email conversations with them, it might be that I don't have any past
Yeah.
meetings, and similar that the LinkedIn profile wasn't found. And then I give it additional guidance about the how.
Hmm.
Because, like, again, keep it short, fewer than 10 bullets per meeting guest, and max 10 words per bullet.
Hmm.
And also always add like their LinkedIn profile URL at the end if you have it. Ignore attendees with like that are colleagues. Don't include details about the meeting itself. Like I don't need that repeated. I already have that in calendar. And don't use emoji. And then what I do finally, I say the output will be sent to me over email. And why
Okay.
that's helpful is not strictly needed, but that will teach the AI, that will tell the AI that like, okay, rich text is probably good, and I've also told it so, and it will know exactly like what is the type of like text formatting that works well in an
Awesome.
email. So
Awesome. Okay.
and then it sends the briefing to myself, and here I added, so here's a template for this briefing. So what we see here is like some templated information about the event. So I asked the AI to not include any information about the meeting, because I was like, I'll do that myself. So I give the title of the meeting, the start time, the join link, and the event link, and
Ah.
then I have the output of the meeting.
So this is what you'd use to join the Google Meet, right? Our meeting.
100%, 100%. Let me
I
actually,
figured.
let me actually show you. So like
Got it. Got it.
here is the email that I got. Like this is in Pacific time, but like the email that I got ahead of this call. So it talks a bit about like our previous email exchanges, and this meeting got bumped a few times, as well. It has like the links. And yeah, I'm getting this for every call that I have. And
Awesome.
you can of course personalize the prompt in any way, because this is personalized for how I like my briefings. But you can go wild here. And maybe one thing to call out, because like, so at Relay.app we have a whole template gallery. And just the other week, I also published this one as a template. So this exact agent that I just showed you,
Hmm.
is here available in our template gallery. So it explains a little bit what each step does. But more importantly, if you click like use this template, just do it like it asks you to
Okay.
connect the various apps that are needed, and it creates it for you, and it has a few steps that you need to do to finish it. But it's very little work. You just need
Mm.
to tell it like what's your company domain and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
easy to start using, and you can tweak the prompt and personalize it.
Awesome. So, Thijs, while you were just showing this, something came to mind. Like this is always a use case for anybody who's working, especially for the audience, especially for folks in HR. What we do is there's always, so one of the large KPIs or KRAs, whatever you have of the HRBPs, is to have conversations with people, right? You want to have, let's say, a regular cadence of monthly catching up with folks.
Yeah,
One of the problems that we have is, let's say I've been in the company for 2 years and this is like the 10th time I'm catching up with somebody. I've lost context, like I don't know what happened in the last meeting. So people are either maintaining Google Sheets or somewhere, or just good old diary. People are going and checking, oh, what did you say the last time, what did you say before that. There's no way you're going to go back to the last 10 meetings and look at what was said and what's important, right? I can just very easily see that if you link this to a Google Sheet, let's say, everybody has its own Google Sheet or something, or even emails, what have you, or I don't know, meeting fireflies, right? Let's say the last 10 things. You can get an amazing email with you just, let's say, 2 hours before the meeting, that you have all the what was the last context you spoke to over the last 1 year. Just imagine how powerful that meeting would be versus somebody just going in blind thinking, oh, I don't even remember what I spoke to the person last time.
100%. You're spot on. Let me actually maybe let me show you two things that are very relevant to this. So
Uh-huh.
let's say I indeed have a, say, Google Drive or Dropbox, whatever. I have a folder with like all my
Hmm.
meeting notes, and where there's one document per
Okay.
person. So now I want the briefing to also use that. So what I can
Hmm.
do is like I can add a step to this loop that happens for each of the people that I'm meeting
Hmm.
with.
Hmm.
And then I look up like then I want to look up the meeting notes document, or get the meeting
Right.
notes document for that specific person. So let's say, what do we use? Notion, Google Docs. Let's say we use Google Docs.
Hmm.
So I search for Docs, and then we see all the different actions that I can do in Google Docs. In this case, we want to find a specific document. So I'm would say like, okay, we're looking for a single document. And
Hmm.
specifically, the document needs to be in the folder of meeting notes. Let's see if I have a folder meeting notes. Because yeah, I have fun.
Oh, awesome.
In the
Yeah.
folder meeting notes. And I will also say like that the title of the doc. Let's say in the title of the document we have like the name of
Yeah. Yeah.
of the person I'm meeting with. So
Mostly.
I
Yeah.
include the name or the email address.
Oh, this is
And
amazing. Yeah.
we look up that document, and we say like, okay, if there's no document found, we continue without a document. But you can also say like, hey, if there's no document, then tell me. And now in the AI, I can add like those documents, those meeting notes documents, and I would also say like the uh, uh, previous notes from previous meetings, and I can add to the additional guidance that like something around like how I want my briefing structure around like the common themes. Maybe at the top of the document there's like goals for the quarter, or like yeah, whatever the specific context is for that person. I can add that in the prompt, and now
Hmm.
the AI will start using that as part of the briefings before
Hmm.
I jump into a meeting.
Awesome. Guys, if you get time, maybe if you can make this, I'll leave it on the link below. This is going to be super useful. Like this is something that everyone has a problem, and there isn't really a tool to solve this. It's good old pen and paper or Excel sheets, which is a pain. Like I've been through this pain myself. Maybe later on you can give me
Yeah,
that, and I leave it as a template below. So folks, if we can get it done, we'd love to share this. Use this. everybody's using Google, everybody's using Slack, let's say, they can just go ahead and use this, man. This is so useful.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll make sure to send you the. I'll create a template and I'll send you the link.
Done. Awesome.
Shall I show you a related agent for like after the meeting?
As many. Yeah, done.
So so like after a meeting has finished, there's often follow-ups,
Of
and
course.
so we have an agent here which helps me write follow-up emails for meetings that I've had. So specifically, it triggers on like in this case when there's like a Fireflies transcript that has been created. Could also be, of course, a Google Doc or like whatever your
Sure.
meeting notes tool is. Then there's a couple of things here, and it's very bespoke, of course, but in this case, but like here I asked the AI to like review the transcript and basically help me decide whether we should send a follow-up email. And as the outputs, it will tell me yes or no, and it also tells me the rationale. And then if the answer was no, we just stop. There's a like job done for the agent. It won't continue. If it is if it is yes, it will continue, and it will find the event, like look up the specific event, like the meeting in my calendar. It will find the previous emails, and then it will use AI to draft the email reply or the email follow-up. And again, this is very personalized, but like I give some examples of like how I, kind of like the tone that I like to send these, and I will as part of this, the AI will generate two things, which is like the email draft, as well as like a list of recipients that the email should go to. Because it might not always be just the one person. It might be, there might be multiple people that we met with. And then at the very end, what it does, it creates a draft in my Gmail. So it doesn't, I can set it up to send it right away. But in this case, right, like I just want to have the draft, and I want to decide whether I end up sending it or whether I want to tweak it or need to tweak it. So this ends up in my drafts, and this happens like, basically right after a meeting has finished. I think, it's you can totally see like how your how these kind of agents help like across the entire like life cycle of running meetings, preparing for meetings, and anything related.
Got it. Thijs, I have one question here. So I see in one step there's Google, one step previously we used GPT, another here there's Claude. So do you have a mental model? When do you use which model for what
Yeah,
task specifically? Yeah.
I use GPT-5 for everything these days. What goes into this decision of like choosing an AI model? Like ideally, you shouldn't worry about it. And with GPT-5, in most cases, you don't need to worry about it because it's really good all around, and it's brand new. And with these AI models, it's like every couple of weeks there's a new model coming out, and it's like so much better than like all the previous models that we take care of that for you. But like at a super high level, there's like three classes of models. There's like kind of like middle down the road models that are like good, that have really good all-round performance in terms of like they have a lot of knowledge about the world, like they know all about like Wikipedia, etc., and all of the stuff. And they're also pretty good at like reasoning about things. A model that can reason well can correlate like the feedback across different candidates from different interviewers, and come with like an overall big picture view of like, hey, based on everything in this spreadsheet, here's the recommended the recommended hiring decision, for example.
Okay.
There are models, like specifically the faster and cheaper models. They're not so good at reasoning, but they are very good still at like summarizing a piece of text or extracting like an invoice amount from an email. And an example of that is like Google's Gemini 2.0 Flash. And then there are models that are really optimized for reasoning. So they're typically very slow, and they are really good at like complex thinking for that typically people like software developers need. So if you're writing code, of course, there's a lot of like logic that you're constantly applying. You need to think very analytical. And these models that are optimized for reasoning are really, really good at that. For example, like Claude Sonnet 4 is a great example of that. That is really good at reasoning. And the nice thing with GPT-5, again, it's really new. It is actually really good at reasoning. It decides itself like how much effort it should put in the reasoning, and it's also really good at all the other stuff. So these days, I just leave the default GPT-5. Why you see these other models in this specific workflow is because, like this one, I've actually I've created a couple of months ago, and at this point, like with AI, we're so on the frontier, right? Right now, actually, I should let me change it to GPT-5 because, GPT-5 is more efficient than Claude, and it has similar performance.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we'll go with your TLDR. Just use GPT-5. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Awesome. Thijs, do you want to get into actually building something from the ground up for folks?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do one that is relevant to HR. So let's say you've created a job posting in your ATS, and you want to promote that post on LinkedIn, maybe that job.
We all do that. Yeah.
Then we can use an agent to do this for you, and maybe like ask you for your approval to do that first. Let's create a new workflow, new agent. Agent awesome. Workflow. It's a little bit similar. And as we talked about earlier, like every agent, we need to specify when does it wake up, when does it come in action, right? Mm-hmm. And in this case, we'll want the agent to come in action when in the ATS I've posted the job, and we have integrations with like multiple ATSs like Ashby, Greenhouse, Lever, but let's use Ashby. And if you click on Ashby, you see like a whole bunch of like the different triggers that we have. So there's triggers specific to like applications, like new application came in. There's an application change status in the pipeline, or there was a change. Similar for jobs, job posting, interviews, and so forth. Like there's lots of different signals that the agent can wake up on. So now let's just let's create the trigger for when a new job posting is added. And what we see here on the bottom of this trigger dialog is a preview, which basically lists out some of the recent job postings that are in our Ashby. So these are, for context, these are demo posts. But like you can see that there's a couple of job postings here, and then when I click on them, I can see exactly what is the information that is stored in Ashby for this specific job posting that the agent will have access to. And yeah, long story short, it's everything. Like it's everything that is relevant for that posting. And this is really just for you to have like a sanity check of like, okay, what does it what will it have access to? By default, this trigger will trigger for every new job posted, but we can set filters to only do it for certain types of jobs or jobs in a specific location. Let's just keep it simple and say like, this agent should wake up whenever a new job is posted. So then we'll want the AI, to draft a LinkedIn post that we can then post on our profile later. So let's we go to the AI menu where we're specifically we have a bunch of actions that we can basically outsource to the AI. So you see a bunch of like things like extracting information, summarizing, writing content, which is what we'll use, classifying information. But there's also some more specific things like transcribing audio or text to speech or generating an image. And there's also some more advanced things for certain more complex workflows. But in this case, what we'll want to do is we'll want the AI to write a piece of content, specifically a LinkedIn post. So I'm clicking on write, and as a handy preset, we let you pick like what is the type of content that you will write, and you can further specify this in the prompt. But in this case, we'll want a LinkedIn post. So what does this specifically help the agent with? Is it will understand if it's a LinkedIn post that it cannot use for example, bullets or headings or rich text. So it will just use plain text, and it knows like the style of a LinkedIn post.
Okay.
And then I click next, and then we automatically give you a very basic prompt, which you can use as a starting point. This definitely needs this needs tweaking, and let's go do that. So let's say we want the AI to write a LinkedIn post about this new job opening. So about the new job post for, and now what we want to do is we want to use the name of the job posting so that the AI has context about this. So if I click the add on the keyboard or data from previous steps, but like this is actually handy. I see like all of the information that came from this posting, but actually I want to not just have the title of the posting, but I want to have the title of the job, like the specific job. At least I think that will be better.
That'll be better. Yeah.
So I basically, here's a sentence that will say like, please write a LinkedIn post about the new job post for the role for the at Relay.app.
Okay.
And then maybe let's give it a bit of extra context, right? Like, Relay.app is an all remote company, and we currently have 10 colleagues. And then let's keep it simple. We're saying let's keep it under 200 words. And what we're giving the AI access to is like all of the context from the job posting as it's stored in Ashby. Because of course in Ashby we have like an elaborate like JD. We have like all the details about the job. And to get an idea of how will this look like, we can test this step before we continue. So if I click on test this step, then I see a list of the various job postings that are currently in our Ashby. If I click on this link, it will actually open Ashby and like pull them up. Again, these are examples. And then I can say like click test. And now what the AI is doing, it's basically running this prompt for that specific job and drafting a post. And we'll wait a little bit. Normally this happens behind the scenes. And then we wait for the test results. And
and on the prompt you can give it more flavor, right? Like write the post to invite candidates to join, what have you, right? Anything. All right.
100%. I like, and it's actually you probably should, because as we'll see, like the AI will write something probably pretty nice, but it will also, because of the lack of my context, it will start not making stuff up, but it will freewheel a bit based on its best, what it think will be best. So this is the post it wrote. We're hiring a backend engineer, a team of 10, what you'll do, blah, blah, blah. And then also a link to the to apply.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think so too. And like now let's say we don't use hashtags, and we click test again. Yeah, here you see the new version of the post that it
no hashtags. Awesome.
No hashtags. Exactly. It tested well. So now, we have this prompt, right? And it works. So we close that. And now what we want to do is like, we want to post it on LinkedIn. But before posting it on LinkedIn, let's review it, right? Because like, we're posting it on our company profile. So what I'm going to do, we have special actions for a human in the loop, which basically mean that the agent will pause, will ask a human for something, and then continue or not based on what the person wants. And in this case, so there's a couple of different actions that we have, but in this case, what we want to do is we want to get an approval from a person. So we'll get approval to continue the run, and then we say like, how do we want to get this approval? Now, in this case, because it's a job posting, probably anyone in the HR team should be able to approve this, or maybe you want it like the hiring manager. But like, let's say we do this to we ask the team over Slack, and let me use a demo channel for this. And then here we're going to provide, this is optional, but it's very helpful, like provide the context of like, what does the person need to approve in this channel.
Got it. Makes sense.
So please approve the LinkedIn post for the job posting for. And then again, I'm going to insert the title of that job. Let me also, let me bold it. Because in LinkedIn post or in Slack we can use that, and then like here's the AI draft, and I'm going to click insert data, or again the ad, and then I select the output of step number 2, which is the AI step, and there specifically I insert the AI output. And in this case, let me make it a little bit nicer to make it to put it into like the quoted text. Sorry. Then in LinkedIn we can clearly see that it's like not it is clearly separated from the rest of the message. We'll see that in a minute. I can specify lots of like additional behaviors for these human in the loop approvals, because like, of course, the agent will pause here. So you can set like things like a due date, you can set additional reminders, you can set repeated reminders, we can add escalations, like we can ping the manager of a person if they don't respond within, a certain number of time. I don't think we want any of that here for this specific thing, but like we will get at the end of this either an approved or not approved. If it's not approved, then it will stop. And if it's approved, then there's only one thing left, which is like actually posting it on LinkedIn, right? So we go to our LinkedIn integration, and there's a whole bunch of actions that we have. And one of these actions is like create post for organization. So you can post either at a personal profile or a company profile. In this case, we'll do a company profile. Because I have LinkedIn connected, I will select our organization. And then in the contents of the post, I'm literally going to insert the output of the AI. Because in the previous step, we already reviewed it. And now we just need to post it. We can also add images, etc., even dynamically. In this case, let's keep it simple. And and that's our agent. So now let's test it. So let me click Start a Test Run, and then I can select any of the roles that I currently have. And I click Start Run. Then here what's happening is we see exactly what the agent is doing. So yeah, the agent is now writing the post, and as we saw before, this takes like 10 seconds. And after it has written, it will send me a message in Slack. So it's currently in that state. So it asks me to approve, but let's check it out on Slack, because of course it's not that often that you're actually looking at the agent while it's doing work, because again, it happens behind the scenes. Let me open up Slack. Now let's see if it does. Okay, so here we're in this channel, and what we see is like the message: please approve the LinkedIn post for the job posting backend engineer. Here's the draft, and here's the draft. Which is similar to the time we tested it. In this case, I'm not going to approve it because it actually has our LinkedIn profile, our LinkedIn connected, so I don't want to post this. So I click like end, which is basically don't approve. So I see here like the confirmation, who did it, because in this channel it's just me, but like the rest of the team might
Mm.
be in there as well. And then in here, like I see also like the result of that, like that it was not
Mm.
approved by me, and then therefore it didn't didn't post on LinkedIn.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. Again, I keep saying that uh, you do this so it doesn't feel amazing, but just the fact that you can get an approval, right? And especially in our function, there are a lot of stuff that we deal with which is super sensitive, right? Anything with PII, all of that things, right? Super sensitive. There is no going back, right? So I think one of the reasons people are a little scared of using AI is that, oh, what if it does something that I cannot come out of, right? And a very simple solution to that is you approve it, right? So most of our workflows, these traditional HRMSs, just work on the concept of approval, 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 and there's nothing. Like they don't really do anything. They just store the information, right? Or
Yeah,
or maybe just do an exit process or something like that. So this is going to be very useful. Again, LinkedIn is something that we use a lot. I mean, obviously, right, it was built for the hiring teams, for the people teams, and just automating posts. I mean, just I can think of there are teams who write, let's say, social posts every week, right? One or two a week. Uh, I think I saw one of your templates that you just need to upload something. You upload a doc, and then automatically a post gets created. Right? You just say you've gone for an offsite or something. You just give it an image and something, and automatically the post goes out. Right? So very incredibly useful for us. Okay, see YouTube. Yeah,
yeah.
just if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's so many different use cases. We see this very commonly used. We use it ourselves a lot for like we have a lot of YouTube videos. And what this
Right. Yeah.
does is like every time we post a video on our channel, we get the transcript, we write the post, we download a thumbnail from YouTube, and we ask for the approval, and then ultimately we post on LinkedIn the like the promotion of the video, including the thumbnail, and like we add like additional information. And we actually have a so I mentioned our template gallery. So we have this like social media promoter that you can easily adjust. It includes like a template for both LinkedIn, Twitter, as well as Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
So you can very easily adjust this. And this is for a new video on a YouTube channel, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be anything.
Got it. I have one which I use. I'm not going to show that, but just for folks. I think I'd already shared it on LinkedIn. Like I took your lead enrichment idea and ran with it for candidates. So one of the things that we have is before going into, let's say, meetings with our senior folks, we need to give a sort of write a dossier for
Yeah.
the candidates, right? Now you can either go and write it all yourself, or I built an agent which does that for you. Looks at the LinkedIn, looks at the work they've done, looks at the CV, triages it, and builds an amazing dossier. Specifically, I've prompted it to highlight the AI work done. It's an amazing thing that comes out. I shared with a couple of my recruiter friends. They're using it before any meeting. It just takes a second. They send an email and it goes out, and they're like, the senior folks think that they are sitting and writing all of this themselves because they don't know there's an AI doing this on the back end. All right.
Yeah, it's incredibly
Yeah.
powerful.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's going to be super useful. I'll leave all the links below. This is super easy to use, right? You're just saying it's just click, 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 and it's very common sense. You don't really need any technical background, which most of us don't come from. So just feel free to go explore. And Thijs, you want to have any closing thoughts where people can find you if they want some questions or they just want to connect with you, and where do they find Relay?
You can find Relay at Relay.app, including like all the templates that I just shared, and myself on LinkedIn. I'll give you my LinkedIn profile URL because my name is a bit
Sure.
hard to hard to spell out. But yeah, please connect. And if you have
Sure.
any questions as you're starting to use the product, don't hesitate to DM me, and happy to help out. And thank you so
All
much
right.
for having me.
All right, cool. Thank you, Thijs, for coming on. Thank you, Thijs. Yeah.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.